Hello guys and welcome back to another top 5 list video on my channel, and today we'll be looking at the top 5 best races of the Formula 1 season in 2018. And I tell you guys, this was a fiendishly difficult list to put together as there were just so many great races this season. But anyway, let's get straight into this video, and guys, please let me know your opinions down in the comments. At number 5, it is a race which just provided us with so many turning points, and that was the Austrian Grand Prix. An action-packed first lap saw Lewis Hamilton jump Valtteri Bottas at the start, with Kimi Raikkonen and Max Verstappen getting in the mix as well. Sebastian Vettel started from P6 and forced his way through the field and fought for a podium place. But around lap 10, lap 15, Valtteri Bottas suffered a gearbox issue which brought out the virtual safety car. Mercedes opted not to pit Hamilton, whilst Red Bull and Ferrari did pit their drivers. This meant once Hamilton made his pit stop, he would lose the lead and P2. Then Hamilton's Mercedes started developing an engine issue. I believe it was an oil pressure issue, and with the tyre degradation, that Mercedes really could just not make an overtake. But then Sebastian Vettel pulled an overtake on Lewis Hamilton, which left us all speechless. What a ballsy, brilliant overtake the German provided. After starting from the pit lanes, Fernando Alonso made his way into the points. What a drive from the Spaniard. The two Saubers also made it into the points after an array of overtakes. And again, the midfield scrap was just brilliant to watch. Haas claimed 4th and 5th, their best ever result in Formula 1, but Max Verstappen just about took the victory from Kimi Raikkonen in 2nd and Sebastian Vettel in 3rd. What a race Austria provided. At number 4, the Iceman kept his cool. After starting from P2, Kimi Raikkonen jumped Lewis Hamilton at the start, using his softer compound of tyres to good use. Daniel Ricciardo was pressuring Valtteri Bottas into the first corner, but ultimately couldn't make the move. Sebastian Vettel then overtook Daniel Ricciardo down the long DRS straight on lap 1, but that outbroke himself at the end of the straight. This meant he had to re-overtake him into the next corner, but then locked his rear tyres and spun, making contact with the Australian. This meant Vettel dropped out of the points and had to make a comeback to keep his slim championship hopes alive. Lewis Hamilton pit during the virtual safety car after Daniel Ricciardo retired from the race, and this would prove to be a poor strategical decision by Mercedes as Ferrari kept Kimi Raikkonen out. Hamilton would have to commit to a 2-stop, and in the end, the US Grand Prix wouldn't be the scene where Hamilton took his 5th World Championship after coming home P3 and coming second best after a brilliant battle with Max Verstappen. Kimi Raikkonen took his first victory since the 2013 Australian Grand Prix, and the top 3 were just in the same picture. It was nail-biting, it was brilliant. What a race the US Grand Prix was. Sebastian Vettel battled his way back up to P4 with Valtteri Bottas in 5th. It was just a very intense race. I've never experienced that as a Formula 1 fan, and although the racing wasn't at its best, it provided just so much drama. And I tell you, that first lap was the craziest first lap Formula 1 might have ever seen. So much carnage. One moment, one mistake probably turned the championship on its head. The German Grand Prix was the scene of this extraordinary moment. Vettel started from pole, Hamilton started 14th. Surely Vettel couldn't be beaten on home turf. Vettel maintained the lead and overtook Kimi Raikkonen due to Ferrari team orders after the pit stop phases. But then rain fell and Sebastian Vettel locked his front and rear tyres going into the Sachs curve. At this time he was leading from Bottas, then Raikkonen, then Hamilton, then Verstappen. And this all unfolded when rain started to hit the track and Vettel was the one that crumbled. Hamilton's good strategy just brought him into play for the race victory, and that is what happens. He won for the first time in his career, he won from outside the top 6 to take the championship lead, heading a Mercedes 1-2 with Kimi Raikkonen in third. This race just reminded me of the old classic Hockenheim races like 2000, where some part of the track is just ridiculously wet and then some part of it is stone wall dry. It was just brilliant to watch, so intense. The midfield battle after the safety car was called out was just amazing to watch. Oh my goodness, the German Grand Prix delivered, and it delivered so flipping much. In the V6 turbo hybrid era, I've never seen a race like it, and I would love to see a race like that again. The British Grand Prix falls at P2 on my list, and wow, what an amazing race this was. Having started from pole at his home event, Lewis Hamilton suffered a dreadful start and then was turned round by Kimi Raikkonen. Hamilton fell to the back and Sebastian Vettel led the race. Kimi Raikkonen was given a 10-second time penalty, but then the race lit up when Marcus Ericsson had a massive accident. Before this, Hamilton was making a great comeback and was already in the top 6 and was brought into play for a podium when the safety car was issued. And another safety car came out after Grosjean and Sainz had another big collision. But the last 20 laps of the British Grand Prix was just so goddamn intense. Vettel was behind Bottas, having pitted during the safety car, and just lap after lap after lap was hunting down Bottas and finding a gap for an overtake, which he eventually found 5 laps left of the Grand Prix, providing a superb move into Brooklands corner. This meant the 4-time world champion headed home Lewis Hamilton for the win, with Kimi Raikkonen came back to third with Valtteri Bottas in fourth. This race should have determined the championship in my opinion. At number 1 I have the penultimate race of the season, and that is the Brazilian Grand Prix. It had drama, it had overtakes, it had controversy. The Brazilian Grand Prix provided a race that was so brilliant it didn't even need rain. The Red Bull car was the quickest on race day, and it proved evident with Max Verstappen looking the quickest during the Grand Prix and should have taken the win after passing both Ferraris and Mercs. Daniel Ricciardo was also making overtakes, but he had to start outside the top 10 after an penalty. Having taken the lead, Verstappen was then knocked out by Esteban Ocon, resulting in Ocon getting a heavy penalty and Verstappen losing the lead to Hamilton. And despite his best efforts, he could not chase down Hamilton, who eventually took his second Brazilian Grand Prix victory and confirming Mercedes as Constructors' Champions once more. The racing between the top 6 was just so entertaining to watch, and I loved the race to absolute bits, and it's why it deserves number 1 in my list in my opinion. But guys, that is it for today's video. Please like my video and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and until next time guys, see you later.